Spend quiet time with God. Listen here, family. In this fast, moving world, everyone's chasing something. Money, fame, respect, happiness. But too many of us are forgetting the one thing that fuels it all, our time with God. I'm not talking about the big flashy prayers or Sunday morning show up and go kind of worship. No, I'm talking about that deep, quiet time when the noise turns off, the distractions fade, and it's just you and God, heart to heart. You see, life will try to drown you out with its chaos, its demands, its pressures. But when you make space for quiet moments with God, something powerful happens. Your spirit resets, your mind clears, your purpose sharpens. It's like plugging into the ultimate power source. Now, I know some of you say, I don't have time for that. Let me tell you something. If you don't make time, you'll lose time. And not just any time, but the time to hear God's voice guiding you through the mess. The time to receive wisdom when you're stuck. And the time to build a foundation that no storm can shake. Spending quiet time with God isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's where your faith grows strong enough to move mountains. It's where your peace is born even in the middle of the storm. It's where your dreams get planted in soil that's rich and fertile, not rocky and barren. So I'm here to challenge you today. Make space, shut down the noise, wake up early or stay up late. But sit in that quiet place and just be with God. Don't just talk, listen. Don't just ask, receive, and watch how your life changes. Watch how doors open. Watch how you walk taller, speak wiser, and live fuller. The world will keep spinning, but those quiet moments, they're the moments that build your legacy. They're the moments that shape your future. So, spend that quiet time with God, and watch how He spends His time blessing you back. The power of stillness. Listen, life is loud. The streets are noisy, your phone is buzzing, the world is spinning faster than ever. You wake up, and the hustle starts immediately. Emails, texts, responsibilities, expectations. It's a never-ending flood of sound and movement. But somewhere deep inside, God's whisper calls you to pause, to slow down, to step into stillness. Stillness is where your soul gets a chance to breathe. It's where God meets you face to face, not in a crowd, not in a rush, but in the quiet moments when your heart is calm. That's where the power is, not in shouting, not in proving, but in silence. It's like plugging into a secret source of strength that most folks miss because they're too busy running. When you step into stillness, the noise that tries to drown your spirit quiets down. And that's when you can hear God's voice clear as day. He's not always shouting. Sometimes His guidance comes as a gentle nudge or a peaceful feeling in your chest. But if you never stop to listen, you miss it. Stillness is the channel where divine wisdom flows. You've got to learn to cherish those quiet moments because that's where the real work happens. That's where your heart learns to trust, where your mind finds peace, and where your spirit is strengthened. Don't underestimate the power of being still. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is shut your mouth, close your eyes, and just be. In stillness, your worries start to lose their grip. The pressures that seem so urgent suddenly feel manageable. That's not magic. That's the presence of God calming your storm from the inside out. When the world feels overwhelming, stillness is your sanctuary, your reset button, your recharge. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing something very important, connecting. It's not about escaping life, but engaging with it on a deeper level. When you make stillness a habit, your faith becomes unshakable because it's rooted in experience, not just hope. Imagine a river. The surface might be choppy, but deep beneath, the water is calm and steady. That deep calm is what stillness does for your soul. It keeps you grounded no matter how wild the storm on the surface gets. Without that foundation, you'll always feel tossed around by life's challenges. And let me tell you, the people who win in life, those who keep pushing no matter what, are the ones who learn to get still. They don't let the noise of failure, criticism, or doubt control them. They carve out quiet time, and they come back stronger every time because they've tapped into the power of stillness. Stillness teaches patience, too. It teaches you to wait on God's timing instead of forcing your own. There's a strength that comes from knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to act and when to rest. That strength comes from stillness. Too many folks think power means loudness, flash, and speed, but the most powerful moments are quiet. The most profound changes come from those silent, unseen times with God. You build character, resilience, and peace there. So don't fear the quiet. Don't run from it. Step into it. Find that sacred space in your day where you can be alone with God and just be still. That's where your power waits for you. When you make stillness a priority, everything else starts to make sense. Your decisions become clearer, your relationships stronger, your mind sharper. Stillness becomes your secret weapon in a noisy world. And it's not just about your personal life. Stillness equips you to lead better, love deeper, and live fuller. It's the heartbeat of your faith, the pulse of your purpose. So when the world feels like too much, remember, the power you need is found in the stillness you create. Step into it, feel it, and let it change you from the inside out. Prioritize your spiritual time. You can't pour from an empty cup. That's real talk. You can run around all day trying to do everything for everybody, but if you're not filling your spirit first, you're running on empty. The world will try to steal your time, distract you, keep you busy with everything but what truly matters, your connection with God. Prioritizing your spiritual time isn't just about religion or routine. It's about survival, growth, and breakthrough. It's about feeding the part of you that keeps you going when the rest of you feels tired. Without it, you're vulnerable. You're easy prey for doubt, fear, and stress. We live in a culture that celebrates busyness. People wear their exhaustion like a badge of honor, but I'm telling you, that's not strength. Strength is knowing when to slow down and turn your attention inward and upward. Set that spiritual time like it's a non-negotiable appointment. It's the meeting that decides your day, your week, your life. No excuses, no cancellations, because when you put God first, everything else finds its place. Some people think spiritual time has to be long or complicated. That's not true. Even a few quiet minutes with God can shift your whole perspective. What matters is consistency, not length. It's the daily commitment to show up that moves mountains. The devil doesn't want you to have that quiet time because he knows it changes everything. When you prioritize God, your heart changes, your mind clears, your spirit is strengthened, and that's a game changer. Think about it. The most successful people in history had some kind of spiritual discipline. It wasn't luck or talent alone. They had a source of strength bigger than themselves. You can have that too, but only if you make it a priority. It might mean waking up earlier. It might mean turning off the TV or stepping away from social media. It might mean setting boundaries with people who don't respect your time. Whatever it takes, do it. Your future depends on it. Spiritual time isn't selfish, it's self-preserving. When you fill your cup first, you have more to give others. You become more patient, more loving, more resilient. It's the foundation of your best self. You've got dreams, goals, responsibilities, but they won't come together without spiritual time. It's like trying to build a house on sand. One storm, and it's all gone. But when you build on the rock of God's presence, nothing can shake you. Prioritize your spiritual time like your life depends on it, because it does. Without it, you'll feel lost, overwhelmed, and disconnected. With it, you become unstoppable. Remember, time is your most valuable asset. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Invest it wisely. Invest it in the quiet moments with God. When you do that, you'll notice a shift. Challenges become opportunities. Failures become lessons. Pain becomes growth. It all starts with that commitment to prioritize your spiritual time. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Make the moment perfect by choosing God first. Set that appointment today, tomorrow, every day. Your life will thank you. Listening over talking, we live in a world that rewards talking. People want to hear your voice, your opinion, your story. But too often, we forget the power of listening, especially when it comes to God. Spending quiet time isn't just about speaking to Him. It's about listening for His voice. Talking to God is easy. We do it all the time. We ask, we plead, we demand. But listening, that takes discipline. That takes humility. That takes patience. And it's where the real breakthroughs happen. When you listen, you open a door. You invite God to speak into your life in ways you never imagined. You get answers, direction, comfort, and peace that talking alone can't give. The problem is, we're so busy trying to make ourselves heard, we miss what God is trying to say. We drown out His voice with our own noise, our worries, our plans, our doubts. But what if you made a habit of listening first? What if you spent as much time hearing God's guidance as you do asking for it? You'd start making decisions that align with His plan, not just your desires. Listening also builds trust. It tells God you believe He has something important to say to you. And when you listen, you develop a relationship that goes beyond rituals. It becomes real, alive, and transformative. Listening to God requires stillness and patience. Sometimes His answers come in a whisper. Sometimes in a feeling of peace. Sometimes through a passage in Scripture or a word from someone else. But if you're not tuned in, you'll miss it. The beautiful thing is, God wants to talk to you. He wants to guide you, comfort you, lead you. He's not distant or silent. He's waiting for you to listen. Learning to listen is like developing a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. And the stronger it gets, the clearer your path becomes. Listening also means being honest with yourself. Sometimes God's answers challenge you. Sometimes He asks you to change, to forgive, to let go. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. When you listen over talking, your life aligns with a higher purpose. You stop chasing empty dreams and start walking in God's plan. Listening deepens your faith. It turns it from something you hope for into something you know because you've experienced it. So next time you spend quiet time with God, don't just talk. Listen and watch how He moves in your life. Faith strengthened in solitude, faith doesn't grow in crowds. It grows in solitude. When you're alone with God, stripped of distractions, your faith is tested, stretched, and made strong. Those quiet moments are the training ground for your spirit. Think about it. When you're surrounded by people, you might feel safe. But faith is personal. It's between you and God. It's when no one's watching that your true faith shows up. Solitude forces you to face your doubts, fears, and questions head on. It's uncomfortable, it's raw, but that's where growth happens. You learn to trust God even when you don't have all the answers. In solitude, you wrestle with your weaknesses and invite God's strength. You get honest about your struggles and lean on His power to overcome. Faith in solitude is unshakable because it's tested. It's not faith based on what others say or do, but faith rooted in experience and personal encounter. The Bible talks about people like David, Moses, and Jesus spending time alone with God. Those were the moments that prepared them for greatness. It's no different for you. When you practice solitude, you build a faith that can handle rejection, failure, and pain. You become anchored in God's promises, not in your circumstances. Solitude also gives you space to reflect on God's faithfulness in your life. You remember the times He showed up, and that remembrance fuels your faith. You start to see that God is always with you, even when it feels like you're alone. That's the foundation of faith that never wavers, and as your faith grows in solitude, you become a light for others. People see your strength, your peace, your hope, and they want what you have. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's a sacred appointment with God. It's where faith is born and bred. So when life gets noisy, when people let you down, when the storm rages, remember, your faith was built in those quiet, solitary moments. Faith strengthened in solitude carries you through every trial because it's real, tested, and proven. Renewed purpose and vision. There's something about quiet time with God that sharpens your purpose like nothing else. When you sit still and listen, God reveals what your life is really about. He renews your vision and puts fresh fire in your heart. You might have been drifting, confused, or weighed down by life's struggles. But in those quiet moments, God aligns your heart with His plan, and suddenly, clarity breaks through. Purpose isn't something you guess at. It's something you discover when you seek God's face in silence. That's when dreams come alive again, and your why becomes clear. When your purpose is renewed, your vision expands. You start to see beyond your problems, your past mistakes, your fears. You see the bigger picture God has for your life. That vision fuels your passion and your actions. It pulls you forward even when the road gets tough. It gives you strength to say no to distractions and yes to what matters. Renewed purpose is like waking up from a long sleep. You see the world with new eyes and understand your role in it. It's not about what the world values, money, status, popularity. It's about what God values, love, service, faith, impact. When your purpose is clear, your life feels meaningful. You wake up excited because you know you're walking the path God designed for you. That clarity brings peace too. You don't waste time on things that don't matter. You focus on what moves you closer to your vision. Quiet time is where this transformation happens. It's where God whispers your assignment, your calling, your mission. Sometimes the vision comes all at once. Sometimes it's a slow unveiling, but it always comes in stillness and prayer. Your renewed purpose changes how you see challenges. They become opportunities to grow, not reasons to quit. You begin to live intentionally, with focus and determination. You start to move toward your destiny, and that's the power of spending quiet time with God. It renews your purpose and clears your vision so you can walk boldly into your future. Peace amidst chaos life is going to throw chaos at you. It's going to shake your world and test your nerves, but there's a peace that surpasses understanding, and you find it in those quiet moments with God. Peace isn't the absence of trouble. It's the presence of God in the middle of trouble. When you spend quiet time with Him, He fills your heart with a calm that no storm can touch. You might be dealing with financial problems, broken relationships, health scares, or emotional pain. But when you go to God in silence, you get a peace that steadies your soul. That peace is not based on your circumstances, but on God's promises. It reminds you that He's bigger than your problems, stronger than your fears. Peace keeps your mind from spinning out of control. It stops the fear, the worry, the panic. It replaces them with trust and confidence. When you cultivate quiet time, you train yourself to access that peace anytime. It becomes your refuge, your fortress, your safe place. People around you might be losing it, but you walk with a calm assurance. That's a powerful testimony. Peace doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you face it with God's presence. You move forward without anxiety because your foundation is secure. Sometimes peace comes like a gentle wave washing over you. Sometimes it's a deep-rooted stillness that stays no matter what. The more you invest in quiet time, the more that peace takes root. It grows until it's unshakable, and when you live in that peace, you become a light in the chaos. People look to you and wonder how you stay so calm and collected. Peace is a gift God gives to those who seek Him in quietness. It's a promise you can hold on to. So no matter what's going on, make space for quiet time. Let God fill your heart with His peace. Legacy begins in quietness. When you think about legacy, you might picture big actions, building businesses, raising families, making speeches. But let me tell you, legacy starts way before the spotlight. It starts in quiet moments with God. Your legacy is shaped by the character you build, the values you hold, the faith you nurture, and all of that happens in the silence, when no one is watching, when you're alone with God. Quiet time is where you decide who you really are. It's where you confess your mistakes, seek forgiveness, and commit to being better. Legacy isn't just what you leave behind for others. It's who you become today. That transformation happens in the stillness of your soul. When you spend quiet time with God, you're investing in the foundation of your legacy. You're building something that outlasts money, fame, and time. You learn patience, humility, integrity, and love. Those are the bricks and mortar of a lasting legacy. The choices you make in those quiet moments ripple out to your family, community, and beyond. Your quiet faith becomes a loud testimony. Legacy requires vision, and vision comes from God in stillness. Without it, you drift and miss your purpose. Legacy isn't about perfection. It's about faithfulness. It's about showing up for God and others even when it's hard. Quiet time also gives you peace about your legacy. You don't have to prove yourself to the world because you're secure in God's plan for you. The most impactful people didn't build their legacy on noise or fame. They built it in quiet obedience and trust. When you embrace quiet time with God, you step into a rhythm that shapes your life and your legacy. Your legacy is being written every day, and it begins in those silent moments where you choose God over distraction. So lean into that quietness, family. It's where your legacy is born and where your future is secured. Now listen, family, all this talk about spending quiet time with God, it's not just some nice idea or something to put on your to-do list. It's the foundation. It's the fuel that keeps your spirit alive and your purpose burning bright. The power of stillness, the priority of spiritual time, the wisdom of listening, the strength found in solitude, the renewal of your vision, the peace in the chaos, and the legacy you build quietly, these are the keys to a life that matters. You've got to make that time. No matter how busy, how tired, how distracted you are, find your quiet space with God and stay there. Because in those moments, you're not just surviving. You're thriving. You're not just existing. You're living on purpose. You're not just hoping. You're knowing. So step into that quiet time with confidence. Trust that God is speaking, guiding, and preparing you. And when you do, you'll see your life transform in ways you never dreamed possible. Doors will open, burdens will lift, and peace will flood your soul. That's the promise of spending quiet time with God. Remember, your legacy starts in the silence. Your greatness grows in the stillness. So don't rush past it. Don't push it aside. Embrace it. Own it. Make it your daily habit. And watch God do what only He can do. Go on now. Make space for that quiet time. Your future is waiting.